And welcome to another episode of In the Nest, an Emmaus Athletics podcast. I'm your co-host, Matthew Tomlinson. Shane Douglas is on the road, so here we're joined by Luke Serwinski. Luke, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
For those of you that don't know Luke is a very recent graduate. He graduated in our digital marketing program.
Yep.
And he is our admissions counselor and videographer specialist.
Yes.
Also, he's a former men's basketball player at Emmaus and men's soccer player here at Emmaus.
Yep, did both. So,
double trouble.
My fun story about Emmaus is out of high school, I originally was going to come to Emmaus, and Matt was my admissions counselor, and then I ghosted him and didn't come to Emmaus.
You did.
And then came back. Was it 2 years? 2 years,
2 years later.
And then I came back to Emmaus. So
now you're here.
Here we are now. And now I'm working for him.
And now you're having students ghosting you.
I am.
Payback.
A lot of them.
No, Luke, we're excited. Thanks for joining us. We're excited to hear kind of your perspective on things, because you were on the basketball team 2 years ago. You were on the soccer team last year, and you're active in practice and you're active in filming stuff around campus, especially practices and games. So we're excited. But hey, we had a great weekend. We came off of family and alumni weekend, and man, I know you were a little sick, unfortunately, but it was a crazy weekend. We had over 300 family and alumni that were here.
So many people here.
It was crazy. Like, campus was buzzing. It was so exciting.
It was awesome.
And a lot of it was centered around our volleyball game against Maranatha on Friday, and then the soccer game against Spurgeon on Saturday, and then the alumni game after that, which you also played in.
Yeah.
But that gym was rocking.
That's
Holy
what
cow, Luke. Oh my goodness.
I wasn't able to go to the volleyball game, and I was so upset when you showed me those pictures of the gym, because there was like not an open seat.
There was not. I mean, that was, in my 9 years of being around Emmaus Athletics, that is the most packed the gym has ever been. I think the ticker counted, and it was like there was over 300 people in the gym.
That's crazy.
It was insane. And man, what a crazy game to be at. If you didn't see the box score or watch the game on our live stream, which the game went so long, the live stream camera ran out, so they had to restart a new stream link.
Yeah, I saw that, because I went back to watch it, and I was like, wait a second, what's going on?
Fourth set? I mean, it was so crazy. It was a five set thriller. We ended up losing in the fifth set to Maranatha, but it was crazy because the fourth set, it was so tight that it went 31-29. I
didn't know it went 31-29.
31-29. Set went to 30 points, over 30 points, which was insane. And I know, like, it was just, the atmosphere was rocking. It was a little too hot in the gym, just because, I mean, we're not used to.
Yeah, I heard the
400 some odd people that are in there.
The floor was wet or something like that.
Yeah, the floor was so slick. So shout out Jacob Leslie and Quan Patterson. They were back and forth with the broom, with the towel boys, toweling the floor, or the little like broom things. And so, yeah, no, it was a phenomenal match. It was so sad and heartbreaking that we couldn't pull it out. But what a match that it was. I mean, in that 5 sets, some highlights were like Caitlin Rand had 21 kills.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which was a new career high for her. And they just played so hard. I think I have to let me look at the stats real quick so I give accurate numbers.
Because she had 21 in that game, which was her high. And then didn't she break it again this weekend?
The following game, yes.
20 with 22,
which is crazy. Yeah, and then Sayla Gregory had 13 kills. So it was crazy because we had 53 kills for 100. So half of our points that we scored were kills. Over almost half of our points, which was crazy. Yeah. And so it was just a phenomenal game. I mean, they played their heart out. I mean, I think almost every single parent was there for the volleyball girls, except I think Nelly and Emma Sand's parent. But it was just, I mean, I was talking to a couple of them after the game, and they're like, I was so nervous with how many people are in there. Because I would say, like, definitely from your experience too, like, we don't, like, even when we go to away games, like in our conference and region, like, we don't get like that, like crowds like that. No, maybe Faith on like special nights, they'll have 300-400 people, but I mean, that was probably one of the bigger crowds.
I think Faith always has a packed crowd for a lot of the things. I think just playing against the other teams, they probably have, I don't want to say loyal fan base, but like the most consistent fan base. And Emmaus does have, will randomly have really big crowds, but nothing like that game.
it was so fun seeing just the amount of alumni, but also athletic alumni throughout the years. Like there were a bunch of volleyball alumni. Obviously, there were a ton of soccer alumni that came. There was 44 soccer alumni that came back.
So many.
And there was a good number of men's and women's basketball alumni. Yeah, so it was just such a thrilling game against Maranatha. If you have time, you should go back and watch it because it was.
Yeah, that's what exciting. I went back to.
Except the first set.
Yeah. I went back to watch the game because I didn't know I didn't let myself see the score. And I was like, I got to go back and watch it. So I went to watch it, the 5th set, and I asked my wife, I was like, did you see anything about the game? She goes, oh yeah, they lost. And I was like, I'm watching the game. Why did you just tell me that?
Sure,
I was so disappointed, but
yeah. So that was, it was obviously, like I said, it was sad that we lost, but what a thrilling game for all of the family and alumni to see. Moving on to Saturday of Alumni Weekend, we had a soccer team played. They played Spurgeon College, a rematch from a few weeks ago where they had a heartbreaking loss.
Was that the
it was the game at Faith.
Of the season?
Second game, or I think it was the second game of the season where they were up 2-0 with 18 minutes left.
Yeah, with 18 or 20 minutes left, and they just allowed a big comeback.
Yeah, gave up 3 goals. Spurgeon ended up scoring the 88th or 89th minute to win the game. So I know there was a lot of the guys were excited to get some payback, and it was a pretty good game. What were your thoughts on the game?
I thought the game plan, I knew they switched up their formation, so it was a little different than what I was expecting just from I go out and practice with them and help them, kind of just like an extra body for them to beat up on, to be honest, but that's okay. And so I hadn't been there that weekend, so I didn't know they changed the formation until the day before, and I was like, oh wow, I don't know what to expect out of it. And so I think for changing that formation and working through it, I thought they did a pretty good job.
And that was being down 2 starters too, correct?
And that was, so it was CJ was out.
CJ was out.
An ankle injury.
And Carlos was still out.
Yeah, and Carlos is still out. Still waiting to be cleared. And so I think if we have those 2 players, I think it's a different story. But ending in a draw.
2-2 draw is what the final score was. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a draw.
Yeah, it's not what you want.
But way better than a loss.
Yeah.
But it was really cool seeing them fight back because I would say both goals that Spurgeon scored in the first half, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Both were defensive breakdowns.
Yep.
Goals that could have been avoided. And we missed some shots that we took that
I know we could
have gone in.
I felt like we had a lot of good opportunities to score and we were just overthinking.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what you come to expect from a young team. Sometimes it's just these mental lapses, and especially if these guys stick around, it could be a really scary team.
I mean, seeing 8 freshmen starting, it's scary, but it's super exciting too with what could be.
Yep.
And so they were down 2-0 at halftime, and I think it was I ended up coming down to the field with you and Shane about the 60th or 63rd minute, and then we were pacing up and down the sideline.
Yeah.
But man, it was so cool just seeing the grit because obviously being down 2-0, in a sense, that's a lot for soccer, but also it's not. And just seeing how they fought back and took advantage of 2 beautiful passes, one from John Chwema and one from Bennett, and Christian put 2 more goals in to his accolades for the season.
And is he leading now? He's leading?
Yes. So Christian is number 1 in the nation in shots on goal, and goals.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. He has 38 shots. He has 25 shots on goal and 9 goals.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is insane.
And I think second place has played 11 games.
11 games.
And he's played 9.
Played 9, which is crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing that needed a little bit of improvement and could have brought out a win is just trying to get those forwards to connect better and to communicate runs and whatnot. I think we were talking about in practice yesterday, Jacob Davis, our right wing, left wing, kind of switches back and forth, and Christian Anderson, if they can connect a little more and communicate those runs, they're both super talented, and working those 2 could be a huge change that could help.
Because we know Christian has an amazing shot, but I mean, Jacob has a pretty good shot himself.
He has a really good shot, and I think he just kind of needs a little more confidence in it to just let it fly sometimes. But also, Jacob has an amazing touch. It has a really good touch. And so being able to combine those weapons would be just
be huge.
Getting it to click would be huge. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good game. Waited for them to fight back. But yeah, unfortunately, it was a tie, but
Yep.
we'll take that over a loss. And even, I mean, say Tucker had a pretty good game because he's still second overall in the nation in saves, which can sometimes be a deceiving stat because like there was one team I was looking at that they had they said they had a record of their goalie had 15 saves or 17 saves. And I was like, holy cow, that's really good.
Yeah.
And then you find out that they got scored on 14 goals. And it's like, wait a minute. So it's like, it kind of goes, I mean,
it's
like,
a stat you don't really want to lead in saves.
Because usually the goalies with like not that many saves are the ones whose defense is just incredible. That keeps the ball out of the box and everything.
Yep. And then, but when you're playing with more of a lackluster defense, you got to be able to make saves. And you're naturally going to because you're the one back there.
And he had some pretty spectacular saves on Saturday. And I think he's like number 8 in saves per game or something like that. Yeah. So we're excited because this momentum can keep on going into tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
So then that was the weekend. Cross country was off this weekend. So after having 3 weeks in a row with races, they finally get 2 weeks off to recover, to train for. They don't race it this weekend. They race the following weekend. So it'd be nice. It's been fun seeing them training and practicing, but it's nice for them to have a little bit of a rest time after going back to back to back, which, I mean, you ran cross country in high school, but I hear that, talking to Coach Girardi, like that's a lot, like 3 races in a row. Like that's a lot.
It's a lot of miles and a lot of hard miles. So, I like firmly believe that 2 of the hardest sports are cross country and wrestling because it's just you and it's just all mental. And so I get it. I loved cross country in high school, and it's having 3 back-to-back races is crazy.
How'd you get past the mental wall? Like
it's on it. Honestly, you just reach a point where you can tell you got to reach a point where you can tell your body, like, you're going to make it. Like, you are fine. Your body is capable of so many more things, but you just got to get over that hill.
That you can do it. Not that I can't do it.
Yeah. So
like the little engine. I think I can. I think
the little engine.
I know I could. So that was the weekend for, actually touch a little bit about the soccer alumni game. It was fun seeing so many, like I was telling Coach Rasmussen and Coach McHugh, like in the past, it's always been like alumni, like a large group of alumni from like the 80s and 70s or like this past year's alumni. But we had, I mean, the representation for overall and for the soccer was like, we had a ton from the early 2000s. We had a ton from the mid 2000s. We had some early 90s. Like it was just really cool seeing Eagles of all generations here and playing.
Yeah, I think there was 38 guys that were actual soccer players at Emmaus that were here,
which was crazy
for alumni. Yeah,
and a lot of talent throughout the years too. From on some really good teams, some really good players that had some really good accolades throughout the years. So it was fun seeing all the Eagles through the generations playing. And so that was the weekend. And then volleyball on Tuesday night had a turnaround to go up to Maranatha, who they just played. The coaches poll came out on the way up there, and Maranatha got ranked 10th in the nation. So we're playing yet another ranked opponent. And I was, we had basketball practice because we started basketball practice. So I was there coaching and had my phone with the game on so we could see what was going on. But holy cow, what a difference 3 days makes, 4 days makes. Like, like, I mean, on Saturday night, they won the first set, lost the second set, won the third set, and we're up 2-1, and then lost fourth and fifth. I mean, but Tuesday night, they just swept the floor, 3 games to 0. Like, man, like they just played crazily. And that was what you're saying earlier was on Saturday, Caitlin Rand had 21 kills in 5 sets for Karai. Tuesday night, she had 22 kills in 3 sets.
That's insane.
To set a new career high, which is then what we know of as is the record for most kills in a 3-set match for Emmaus, which then puts her at the 3rd highest for an Emmaus women's volleyball Eagle in a game.
As a freshman.
Well, actually, overall, because what we know, because...
No, I just mean she did it.
But she did it as a freshman, which is crazy. Wynn Vandersall did it in 2017. She had 28 kills in one game.
And that was in 5 sets.
I think that was in 5 sets. Paulina had 24 in 4 sets, and then Caitlin had 22 in 3 sets, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
They were close games, obviously. It was 25-22, 25-22, and then 28-26, but they really dominated.
Yeah,
like, it was
and that's
crazy.
like Maranatha is a good team. Like they were number 10 for a reason.
Yeah, they were ranked.
Yeah.
Which means we've beaten the last 3 ranked teams we played.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. But no, they just played such a good game. There were some areas that Maranatha found the open spot at the home game, but we cleaned that up. We had almost a very, very good defensive game, and our hitters were really finding the open spot for there. I mean, really, Caitlin with 22 kills, Sayla had 9, and Emma Stanley had 7. Like we have some really good hitters. We have some good all around volleyball this year. And I know, like, even listening to the live stream, I mean, Mr. Davis does a pretty good job for Maranatha. He is very, very biased, as everyone knows, but he was saying that he was talking to the head coach for Maranatha, Maddie Bumpus, and she was saying that this was the best Emmaus team she's ever seen.
Really?
And she was a 4-year starter there, or a 5-year starter there, which is crazy, and a 2-time National Player of the Year. So like hearing that's like that's awesome.
I think the turnaround from losing against Maranatha and then coming back and winning 3-0 in sets really is like a testament to the chemistry and the bond that the coaches have with the players, and just being able to pick out like, all right, this is where we failed the first game, and now let's clean it up, let's work together, let's figure out how we can do this, and then come back and bounce back that easily. Like that's a huge testament.
It just
to
shows where they are,
the culture and just the chemistry they have.
And I love what Coach Megan said on the podcast last week, how it's really just a mindset.
Oh yeah.
And their mindset between Saturday night's game and Tuesday night's game was just completely different. Yep. And it showed between losing 3-2 in 5 sets and just winning 3-0 in 3 sets.
Yep.
So that was super exciting. So we'll see what's to come. Looking ahead, soccer plays Manhattan tomorrow.
Going to be a big game
at home during Discover Emmaus weekend, which starts tonight, which we have over about 60 prospective students. Which
starts
tonight. And so we have that at 4, and then volleyball gets a rematch against the number 1 team in the nation, Manhattan Volleyball Girls. And we still are the only team in Division 2 that has taken a set off of them. So it should be a really exciting weekend just to see, like,
it's
obviously we've beaten 10,
weekend.
6, and 10 ranked. So now we play number 1. And so it's going to be really exciting. And then next week on Tuesday, before we record again, the volleyball girls travel down to Faith and play Faith. And I think they were ranked 8th in this newest bowl. So
because they were 6th.
They dropped 2 spots.
Because that was after we beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Did they lose another game? Or I'm not sure.
I don't think they did, but
I don't think they did either, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But I mean, obviously, like the coaches polls, whatever, because like we didn't get any votes, which it is what it is. But
I think a lot of it, obviously I am not a coach, so I have no clue. But I think a lot of it is like just because it's a lot of freshmen.
Yeah.
They don't know a lot of the players, And so I know that's how it is for some of like the All-American, All-Conference, and regional things. It's like if you're not known because you're a freshman, a lot of the times you're not going to get
going to go to a sophomore or junior, someone who's kind of in a sense paid their dues or whatnot. So it's a really exciting weekend upcoming for Emmaus athletics as a whole, and just I don't know. I was talking to you a little bit. I was talking to Coach Rasmussen and Coach McHugh and Mr. Cunningham, just saying like it just really felt like the vibe is back. Like it's exciting.
Yeah.
Like it seems like the excitement for athletics and just just support and just like the alumni being back, like it's back to like
I know
the early days. So
yeah, that's what we were kind of talking about, how COVID kind of took over a lot of things.
It really did. Yeah.
Really just like what's the word I'm looking for? Like mellowed down, I guess. Everything is just like, oh, we're in our rooms. And so I think, especially with this new freshman class, I think they're just a really energetic class who likes to be around each other, which is a huge help. And so
they're excited to be here and be part of something.
And I think the alumni weekend happened at like the perfect time.
I think a lot of the students like didn't fully like understand like like how cool it was, like how many alumni were back. Like that says a lot.
And I think having all those alumni back just really just shows like the family atmosphere that is at Emmaus and how it literally lasts like your entire life.
Yeah, it really does.
And like you're always welcome back. Like it was awesome to see that.
It was. And just hearing all the alumni talking about like the improvements on campus, like the gym, the Pollard field house, the auditorium.
I heard a couple mad people say, why didn't we have this when I was here playing? And I was like, hey,
get in line, buddy. Get in line. Same. Like you last year, me 5 years ago, however long it was, too long ago. But yeah, so no, it's really, really, really exciting things around the corner. So yeah, so that being said, that's kind of the look back at this week in sports. We do have Discover Emmaus Weekend this week, so we'd appreciate prayers as we have a ton of prospective students and their families on campus checking us out. We have some more home games upcoming, so keep an eye out on our schedule, on all the posts. Make sure that you're following us on all social media and all that. Luke, tell us a fun fact about you before we leave.
Oh, do you want to tell them about how basketball's going first?
Oh yeah, we could do that.
So we basketball practice started.
That's right. We picked it. So October 2nd was, let's see, that was what, Monday was our
2 days ago?
First practices for the guys and girls. And so we had a 6 a.m. first day practice of the year.
That's what I was going to go film at 6 a.m. I was going to go kind of like a first day of practice video. And then my wife was sick and I was like,
and I told you it was 6 a.m. and you're like,
I was like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah. But no, I'd say practice was really good for being a 6 a.m. practice. It was a lot of fun. Just the guys are super excited to be here, to finally be playing, to finally have structure and a system. And then we had practice last night and that went pretty well. Like it's going to be a very different season than we've had, in the past 3 or 4 years, but I'm really excited to see what happens. I think we have a really, really good group of guys who know the game and who have talent. Like I think our shooting's going to be really good this year.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just really excited to see them put the pieces together as we are 29 days away from our first game.
It's exciting. It is exciting.
Yeah. And so I watched a little bit of the girls practice just for maybe like 2 or 3 minutes. And I know that seeing Coach Sharon and Coach AJ out there, they're excited about the squad that they have. And I'm excited to see what happens with their year. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
This is going to be a really good year for Emmaus athletics.
Mm-hmm. Like as a whole, like it's just so exciting. Cause like usually like there's like one team, like in the past at least, like there's like one team that dominates and the other 4 teams are just kind of like, they chug along. But like having, 3 to 4 teams that are like doing very well.
That are like all competing like on good levels.
Like not just like scooting along, but like competing at a very high level. Like it's super exciting. Just shows like the course of where things are going.
We just need a spring sport now.
We just need a spring sport.
I said disc golf team. Disc golf team in the spring, man.
Disc golf. Hey, you never know. We'll see. Back to your interesting fact.
My random fact. Okay. So my fun fact about myself is 2 different times I've had gotten stitches in my bottom lip and my upper lip.
At the same time?
So no, one injury was on my bottom lip, and then years later, I had an injury on my top lip, and I've gotten stitches in both of them.
Nice.
Fun fact.
So if you want to talk about lip stitches, talk to Luke.
I had
also, if you're from Northern Iowa, Route 30 and up, talk to Luke about coming to Emmaus.
Come to Emmaus.
Please come to Emmaus.
Talk to me.
Yeah, we have, look on our website. We have some requested information. You can find our profiles up there, our emails and our work numbers. You can reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you about Emmaus and just what, our experiences here as alumni and just what we have to offer, because it's a pretty good place here. It's a great place here.
It is.
Well, Luke, thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
I know we're going to do this more often because obviously we've been traveling a lot lately. You have, Shane has, I have, Cody has. And so we'll definitely have lots of people to fill in. Shout out to Coach Eric and Coach Megan last week for filling in for Shane and I. And Shane, get better and have a safe trip. And we'll see you guys later.
Yep. See you guys.